Good morning, everyone. So we start our today's reading session, and we were reading about what are certain resistances we carry in our mind, and they come from either some assumption, some belief system, what we think about other people, or certain self concepts that we carry. So we were reading out list yesterday, and I'll just start. Like what we were reading. So it is about belief systems. Like we grew up with beliefs that become our resistance to change. And what are certain those belief systems? Okay. Yeah. So so those our limiting ideas or limiting beliefs are it's not right, and they that wouldn't be spiritual, or spiritual people don't get angry. I think I had read this, and it is too expensive, it's too much work. The money or love is not for me. So there can be many belief systems that we would have carried in our minds since so long. And then sometimes it is all about other people, what we carry. We give our power to others and use that excuses as the resistance to change. So, what ideas we carry for others, like, I am waiting for the stars to say it's okay. Then this is not the right environment. They won't let me change. I don't have a right, class or right tools or right teacher, and I can't get time off my work. I don't want to be under their spell, and many things. It's all their fault. Then, about self concepts, we have ideas about ourselves that we use as limitations or resistances to change. So, like for example, we are, say, too old, too young, too fat, too short, too tall, too lazy, too weak, too strong. So, like this, like maybe too worthless. So these are all certain things. So just think, what are those few things out of this list or something else that you are carrying and that is resisting you to have this change? Because ultimately, what is important is your willingness. Once we understand the willingness, what are those resistances? Because once we overcome the changes to the next level. Now, again, there are certain delaying tactics. Our resistance often express itself as delaying tactics. Means what? We keep on giving excuses to our own self, like, okay, I will do it later. I don't think this is the right time right now, or I don't have time right now. It would take too much time away from my work. Yeah, that's a good idea, but let's do it some other time. So, like this. Or something is denial. This form of resistance shows up in the denial of the need to do any change. Like, there's nothing wrong with me. I can't do anything about this problem. I was all right last time. Like this. Fear. By far, the biggest category of resistance is fear. That is something, fear of unknown. And there can be, like, many excuses based on this. We keep on saying to our own self, I'm not ready yet. If I start now, I might fail. They might reject me. What would other people think about me? And I might get hurt. It might cost me money, or many other lists. Like, so these are what, and this is nothing but these resistances. So they are, holding you back. So just think into these all kind of resistances, write it down, and as author has suggested, mirror work, and say to yourself that yes, I am willing to change. And then author is again saying, just you feel, is there any resistance? Is there any thought in your mind which is coming and which is holding you back? So that we need to understand that thought. Now, again, from where these thought or limiting beliefs are coming up, we are going deep rooted to find them out. So, repeated patterns show us our needs. For every habit we have, for every experience we go through over and over, for every pattern we repeat, there is need within us for it. The need corresponds to some belief we have. If there If there were not a need, we wouldn't have it or do it or be it. So there is something within us that need that fat, or something within us that need that poor relationships or failures or anger or poverty or abuse or whatever there is that's problem for us. So it is said that you are used to of your pain or problem, so your nervous system is addicted to that. So we need to release this need, and then definitely that limiting belief or that pain is no longer needed to us. Now, how many of times we said, I won't ever do that again. Then, before the day is up, we have the piece of cake, or maybe, something which we have decided not to take, and say hateful things to the ones we love, and so on. Then we compound the whole problem by angrily saying to ourselves, oh, you have no willpower, no discipline, you are just weak. So what happens? We decide something, okay, I'll be away from sugar, or maybe I will not talk like this, or I will have the change in my thought pattern, I'll go to the exercise, but it doesn't happen. And then what we do? We we criticize our own self. We say, oh yes, you don't have willpower, you are not disciplined, you are just weak person. So now this only adds to a load of guilt we are already carrying. So we are already carrying the guilt. Again, we are doing self-criticism and we are increasing it. Now it has nothing to do with willpower or discipline. Now this is very important. Whatever we are trying to release in our lives is just a symptom, an outer effect. Trying to eliminate the symptom without working on dissolving the cause is useless. So, it is very important again to find out what is deep down, not just to not do something or do something, because you will not be able to continue that and you will go into again a guilt mode. So, what is important is to find it out. The moment we release our willpower or discipline, the symptom crops up again. So it is not just like, without going deeper down to the root cause, we should not be, taking that particular action. So that's why it is important to reflect. Now, this is very important. Willingness to change means willingness to release the need. So now I say to people, there must be a need in you for this condition, or you wouldn't have it. Why you are having this problem? We just need to think, what is the need? Let's go back a step and work on the willingness to release the need. When the need is gone, you will have no desire for that particular sugar or, overeating or negative thinking pattern. So just understand why it is there inside you. What is that need of holding those things? One of the first affirmations to use is, I am willing to release. Now, I am willing to change was the first, which we did with the mirror work. But now the next step is, I am willing to release the need for the resistance. I am willing to release the need for, say, example, headache. I am released to, I am ready to, or I am willing to release the need for that excess weight. I am ready to release that need for lack of money or whatever. So say, I am willing to release the need for, and write it down, what is your problem. If you are resisting at this point, then your other affirmations cannot work. The webs we create around ourselves need to be unwound. If you have ever untangled a ball of string, you know that pulling or yanking only makes it worse. You need to be very gently, patiently unravel the knots. By being gentle and patient with yourself as you untangle your own mental knots. So again, this is a very nice example. So if you want to untangle or work on this, be gentle, have that kindness, compassion, self-love, and importantly, patience, because it will take time. Now, get help if you need it. And that's why it is said that right mentors are really needed during this process. Above all, love yourself in this process. The willingness to let go of the old is the key, and that is the secret. Now, when I say needing the problem, I mean that according to our particular set of thought patterns, we need to have certain outer effects or experiences. Every outer effect is a natural expression of our inner thought pattern. To battle only outer effect or symptom is a wasted energy and often increases the problem. Simple. So we are working only on that symptom. So just go back, one step back, understand from where it is being created. Now, I am unworthy create. So I'll just read for 2 minutes and then we'll move on to the our next segment. So I am unworthy creates procrastination. If one of my inner belief system, so this is example, if one of my inner belief system or thought pattern is I am unworthy, okay, then one of my outer effect will probably be procrastination. So I am constantly feeling I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I may not be perfect, so I will not start anything. After all, procrastination is one way to keep us from getting where we say we want to go. Most people who procrastinate will spend a lot of time and energy, um, you know, giving themselves reasons why I don't want to start or do it. They will call themselves lazy and generally will make themselves out to feel they are bad persons. So again, you keep on, again criticizing yourself and you are holding this limiting belief that I am unworthy. So here we will end today's reading session. So tomorrow we have one more day for this week, and we will read about like how it is important to understand why we are carrying this limiting belief. So one was what is that limiting belief? What are those thoughts? Or what are those reasons we keep on giving to ourselves? And another one going deeper down is why I need it. And then comes like how we will be releasing it. So we'll today move on to our guided meditation part, where again we will work on the similar concept what we read, which is about releasing the need to hold on. So we start sitting in comfortable position with eyes closed and spine straight. And bring your awareness to your breathing. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. As you are inhaling, inhale calmness. Mhm. And allow yourself to let go. Sometimes the resistance is coming up because we hold too tightly to old pain, old identity, old fears, old control. But now imagine you are now have started the process of healing. Now, as we are carrying all these heavy bags of fear, guilt, worry, self-criticism, or disappointments. These are all the things you no longer need. You're feeling the weight of carrying it. And now, gently place this back besides you. And now, notice the relief. You were never meant to carry all this forever. You're feeling lighter. And now, a soft white light is moving inside your body. And this light fills every empty space with love, compassion, peace, and trust. And now say to yourself, I release the past with love. I do not need to control everything. I trust myself. I trust life, and I allow it to flow naturally. And feel your nervous system relaxing. There's nothing to force. Struggle. And you feel that lightness and calmness in every cell of your body. You are ready to carry this feeling throughout your day today. And now, slowly wiggle your toes and fingers, rub your palms, keep it on your eyes and face, and slowly open your eyes.
मेरी तो गाने वाली आवाज
And with this, we'll move on to our next segment.
Good morning, everyone. We move on to the last segment of the day. And today, again, there was a deep insight about why we are stuck or why we are not able to move when we even want to. So, the first step towards taking that change or seeing change in your life is the willingness to move ahead. Many a times it happens that we want to, but that unknown world is so unpredictable that we still feel that being in this space where I am, though may not be very happy or may not be very contented, but still we continue to stay there. Because that's where we feel that this is a known world to me, and I am in whichever space I am, it is still the space of awareness. So, how much even we want, our want is not enough because our willingness is not attached to it. Willingness pushes us to do something. If you want to be somewhere, you make efforts to reach there. Then only you are present in that moment in the situation. Exactly in the same manner in your life conditions as well. if you feel that this current scenario is not compatible, it is something I am not very happy with and I need to move out of it. First and foremost step is willingness towards that. And that we have understood very clearly in today's reading segment. How much even I want anyone to do anything will not make a difference until and unless anyone, the person whom I'm thinking about, is ready for it. You push someone to go to the gym, work on their health regime, but if the person is not conscious, is not willing to do it, your pushing will not make any difference. Exactly. This is the first step towards any change you see. So today we are going to focus our affirmations completely on this step of willingness. I'll be sharing the list here. I'll just open up my whiteboard. Meanwhile, you get ready with your journals, and we are going to share a long list of affirmations to encourage us to take that action by building that stamina of willingness. Because that's the only way which will help us to, one second, which will help us to move ahead in life. So, here, as it was mentioned in the reading segment also, that first thing when you are starting or looking for this change, first thing you can tell yourself that you are willing to do that because that is going to be your initial step towards it. So I'm willing to move forward even if I feel uncomfortable. Is the first affirmation. You remind yourself that I am, sorry, I'll just take this. I am willing to move forward even if I feel uncomfortable. So, here, this second part is very important because this is the push which will help you to grow. How much you feel uncomfortable, that is not the point. The point is that you are willing to move. That is the highlight of this affirmation. Now, once you are willing to move forward, you start releasing the space of delay. Because जब आप ready ही नहीं हो, जब आप willing ही नहीं हो, तो you are waiting for the right time to come. Maybe something big happens, maybe the year changes, month changes, or some situations they change, and you're looking for the perfect time to be there in your life to make that change. Unknowingly, that the world will never change, or the change is not going to make a difference until and unless I am ready myself. So I release the need to delay my growth. Because ultimately, what happens? How much we try to wait for the perfect time, time is never perfect. We have to make it according to our requirement, but we are dealing it. And that's why you will realize that you have spent a long time, years and months in that space, just waiting for that right time to come. Right time can have any definition in your head. Right person to arrive, right situation to arrive, right day and time and circumstances to be according to you, whatever it could be, that right time which you are waiting for is a big reason to hold you back. Because how much, even if you are pushing yourself, you are not there. So now, again, one more affirmation will give you that strength when it will build that self belief within that I am capable. I am capable of handling what comes next. Because ये doubt आता है ना कि क्यों कैसे unknown world में जाने का जो doubt है, that stops you from taking any major action or any step forward. So I am capable of handling what comes next. That's another one more way of building your own self belief. I take responsibility for my growth with love and awareness. When you take charge of your life, this again we have learned and heard and discussed n number of times in the past, When you start taking responsibility of your life, you start looking for change in the outer world. You start working on yourself. So I take responsibility for my growth. But how do you take it? With love and awareness. You are compassionate towards yourself. You are aware about the things around. That will give you that final boost. And in the end, you make your choice. You choose that you want it. So I choose growth even when it was or it feels challenging. How challenging it looks like, that's one part of it. But if you decide you are willing, you want to move forward, so I choose growth even when it feels challenging or it feels uncomfortable, whatever you feel, whether you are feeling uncomfortable, you are feeling that it is challenging, put that word. But yes, this is how you are going to move ahead by taking your own step. Now, if you see clearly here, it started with your willingness. That thought which pushes you that you are willing, you are ready, you are looking forward to that change. अब अकेला वो willingness is not going to help you. You have to start releasing all the reasons which are holding you back, which we were talking about in the form of resistances. The long list of resistances in our head closes the door. So I'm releasing all those resistances because I believe that there's no point dealing. I've already paid enough cost in the form of time, my energy, my happiness. I've already lost for so many years staying in the same space. So I'm looking forward for that change. That one step will help you to move forward easily because that's how you start taking responsibility. That's how you are looking forward for growth in life. So I'll be sharing this list of affirmation in the group as well. But we have to just train our brain. As I mentioned earlier, I'll repeat that the comfort zone is the coziest zone in our mind. But growth and change is never possible in comfort zone. That is the dangerous zone to be in because it keeps you cozy. It keeps you blocked in that space, even if you are looking forward to that change. Something called as sweet pain. कि वो दर्द भी हो रहा है पर अब वो दर्द में भी you are enjoying that pain. Sometimes you reach to that level that your immunity is just gone down and you start enjoying that pain. So you stop taking any action. You have to just shake yourself, remind yourself that you want to see the change if you want to be. On that note, we end today's session. We meet again tomorrow. Thank you so much for your presence early morning. Same time, same link. We will join and go further to understand how being strongly firm on this step of willingness can make us see the difference in life.